Hello and good evening. Welcome to metaphysics.live YouTube channel. And I thank you for your interest and participation. And please subscribe and listen to our channel for your consciousness, awareness, growth, success, and prosperity. Thank you. Today's topic, we're going to talk about what is hell, what is heaven, and how to be in heaven forever. And I am channeling this with I am. Many people, through the beginning of time, have always wondered what is heaven and what is hell. And there are so many misconceptions of what is hell and what is heaven. And today we're gonna, you know, distill all of these into crystal clear clarity what heaven and hell is, and how you can be in a perpetual heaven of your own creation. And that is the beginning of evolution and transformation. So the goal is to propel your evolution in a positive way. Okay. So thank you, and please listen in, sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes if you choose to, and visualize. Okay. So let's go into what is heaven. Heaven is being and knowing who you really are, which is divinity. Okay, so it is a state of awareness that you are the divine. There is no difference between you and the divine. You are the absolute perfect being that is creating your human body and is creating your entire life. Okay, yes. There may be situations in your life which you may label them and call them as imperfect or bad experiences or negative experiences and so on and so forth. And you may have some, suffering and pain in your life. That does not change the fact that you are a divine being. Everything that you experience is your own creation. Every single thing. Okay, so you can choose to change every single thing in your life by changing your perspective and perception about who you are, and ultimately altering how you see yourself, and then coming from that new state or perception that you are a divine being, you are infinite energy, you have unlimited potential, and you have absolutely no reason to fear, doubt anyone or anything, because all there is you. You have no opposition. Okay? And once you come to this level of clarity, you are in a completely new perspective. And this new perspective will change how you see everything. Your perceptions about everything in your life will change. So now that you know heaven is nothing but a frequency or a state of awareness or a feeling of oneness with divinity, source, God, love, universe, I am, whatever you want to call it, it does not matter. It is the ultimate truth. Nothing can change it. Whatever you think does not change it. Whatever you feel does not change it. Whatever you others think of you will not change it. The only thing permanent in your entire life is your relationship with divine, that you are the divine. Nothing else is permanent. Everything changes in your life, and so can you. So now let's define what is hell. Hell is not knowing who you are and experiencing that. In fact, we are born as perfect creatures when we are born as a baby. And when for most kids or babies' life, you experience heaven continuously. because you are not thinking. You're in a perpetual state of being and in a joyful, cuddly, loving state. And the baby's life, whenever you see a baby, a human, most healthy humans will feel a sense of joy, love, unconditional warmth, unconditional happiness, and unconditional uh, uh, compassion when you see a baby, because the baby is resonating a frequency or a vibration that you resonate with, and that will create these feelings in your body. Okay, as we talked about earlier, awareness is a state of being where you feel oneness with God. You are the divine, there is no separation. So once you understand that, there's no going back. So now, what is hell? Hell can be defined as anything you are being, doing, or having that denies your relationship with the divine, that denies your oneness with God, that denies you are the divine, that does not accept its oneness and divinity as the true identity, and it is creating lower and lower levels of experiences from this denial state of being. Okay, so heaven is accepting and being who you are, which is divine being, the infinite source, the infinite intelligence in your current state of being as you are right now. It is not what you are going to be in the future, it is your true state right now. Okay? And hell is anything, any state of being that is less than who you are right now. Okay? If you think you're John or Jane or Tim or Tom or or Chan or Ram, it does not matter. All of these are identities or labels to who you think you are, but none of them point to actually who you really are. You are the infinite creating the energy called your soul. All of these are labels, but just for visualization purposes, the soul is creating your body and mind. And you are not your body, you are not your mind. So, for as when you are a baby, most of the babies do not think, and they are always joyful. Have you ever wondered why? It's because most of the hellish experiences are created by thought arising from a non aware state of being or a feeling. Okay? When you feel you're separate from your own divine self, when you feel you are lonely, when you feel you are not loved by God, when you feel you're separate from God, you feel you are not even connected to God, and you feel God has abandoned you, or you have no love in your life from anybody, and you are in experiencing hell. Okay, and so let's define hell. What is hell? Hell is unknowing. Okay, it is a state of unknowing of who you really are. And a baby does not know what it does not know, so it is perpetually in heaven. Until such time, its parents and its surrounding and its family members tell the baby that its identity is whatever the name they have given it. Whether it's a baby born in Asian culture or Western culture or Eastern culture or African culture, it does not matter. Whatever culture the baby is born in, that identity it acquires. Okay, and whatever name you have given it, it starts to believe that it is that identity. But when your baby is born brand new, it is unconditioned, infinite intelligence, unconditioned, infinite consciousness creating that baby, and it is pure joy, love, and truth. Okay? That's why when you feel and hold a baby, you change. And you can become that. You are that. You just have to first stop being who you think you are and start being who you really are. Okay? And we're gonna talk about that, in the next few slides. Okay? So heaven is again a state of awareness of who you really are. It is a frequency, a vibration, a knowingness that manifests into a feeling of absolute bliss. It doesn't need anything from outside to be it. You can experience your bliss right now. The bliss is your divine state that comes after knowing and experiencing itself. And you have already know everything the divine knows in your conscious metaphysical state. And when you stop imagining you do not know everything or anything that I'm talking about, and you start imagining what I am talking about, you are the divine, you are the infinite intelligence, you are the consciousness, and stop the imagined separation or stop the imagined unknowing, all your awareness, all your knowing will instantaneously come to your mind. Okay, it is there. It is 100% there, waiting for you to open the door and for it to flood through your consciousness. Okay, you are the knowing. Okay, heaven is knowing and experiencing who you truly are. Okay, and hell is not knowing and not experiencing who you really are. It is quite literally the same thing, on the opposite side of the spectrum. Okay? So, so what about ignorance? Ignorance is also unknowing, so is also hell. Okay? And if you know that you're divine, but you're not able to accept it, that also is a rejection of who you really are. Okay? Which will lead you to experience hell. Okay? And many people, many thousands of people that are motivated or instructed by several cultures and religious concepts of misconceptions and cultural myths that hell exists as a place. Definitely that is not true. Okay? Hell is experiencing the worst outcome and outcomes of worst thinkings, actions, words, and desires. Okay? And it is a manifestation of unknowing materializing into physical reality. And when you stop pretending or unknowing and start becoming aware of who you truly are, you start moving your journey towards heaven. Okay? In life, many people think that there are two paths, and they are true. And most of the time, most people are walking on a path of unconscious life. Okay? And they are not conscious of who they really are, and they're living a life of unconscious, mistaken identity. Okay, the identity most of the time is an identity acquired through the culture or how the baby is born and how it grew up through the parents and so on and so forth, and acquired by osmosis, by the baby into, as it grows up in his life. But that is not who you are. Okay? And in fact, when you know who you really are, you, your mind expands to the infinite level of consciousness, and you know that you are not this person sitting or standing right there, but actually an infinite being that is manifesting its energy in this human body state so that it can choose between different states of being and experience the magnificence of what it really is. Okay? So you are absolute magnificence in your divine state. Okay? And in this state, before, let's assume that the universe was not created before the Big Bang, and there's nothing but bliss. There's nothing but joy. There's nothing but truth. There's truth, joy, love, infinite intelligence, pure, raw energy. Okay? At this point, nothing is created. There's no physical reality. At this point, you're pure bliss, pure energy, pure love, pure unconditional consciousness. And this energy chose to experience itself. And that creation of experience started with multiple realms, including the realm of the physical on earth. And when you are creating the physical reality from the infinite consciousness, you are creating an option. Okay? In this, before the Big Bang, you were pure magnificence. And there was no choice. You always were it. You never were not it. You were always divine. You would shoot through, even now you are always divine. Nothing can change it. There is nothing else outside of it. So you are the divine, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you conceive it or not, whether your parents believe it or not, does not matter. You are the divine. Okay? And once you know it, the whole world will change because you change. So, from that state of absolute magnificence, you create a physical reality where you have to choose between different versions of yourself. Do you believe you are good, or do you believe you are bad? Do you believe you are created by God, or do you believe you are not created by God? Do you believe you are worthy, or do you believe you are not worthy? And so on and so on. Okay? What do you believe will drive your future? I strongly know and believe that who you are is infinite, but you can choose in an unknowing state any lesser feeling or state of awareness of who you are. Okay? So now we can stop this pretending and start choosing our magnificence. And this is the purpose of all life, to be and experience absolute magnificence and glory. Nothing less. Nothing less. So, if you're choosing any state of being or any thought arising from any state of being or word or actions from anything less than magnificence or absolute divine consciousness, you're choosing something less. Okay? So that is the beginning of transformation, is you choose your magnificence. First, start assuming your magnificence. Okay, assumption is the fundamental step towards transformation. You start assuming that you are the divine, and until you get the experience. Okay, you are the divine, but if you are not experiencing it, just assume with faith that you are the divine, and that consciousness, that feeling, that vibration, that frequency, that energy will grow exponentially in you. Okay? All right. Next. If you think you're created by an unloving God, you may place yourself in an unheavenly or hellish state of life. And there is a way to get out of it. Number one, you are not your past. You are not your future. You are here and now, manifestation of divinity. Even as you accept it or deny it, you are the manifestation of divinity. There is no change. There's nothing that can change that. Okay? And you have two paths. You can accept your divinity, or you cannot reject your divinity. And if you reject your divinity, then all your life will be followed by hell and experiences similar to hell and suffering, pain, and so on. Okay? And if for you to end this cycle, put a full stop to these experiences and say, I no longer am this person. You can choose a better version of yourself. Okay? So you can choose to be a divine being right now. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that. You can choose to be a good person or not a good person. You can choose to be a loving person or not a loving person. You can choose to be a compassionate person or not a compassionate person. And you think these things don't mean anything. That is why you may choose the lesser, state of being. But when you know that every thought is a creation, every word is a creation, every vibration in your body or action is a creation. A thought is forever. It sends a statement about who you are and who you think you are. Every thought is forever. And every thought resonates in the universe, uh, demonstrating who you think you are. And when you are experiencing hellish life, you are not accepting who you are, so you are manifesting who you're not. Okay? There is no beings that are created by evil. There's no such thing as evil. They are beings who are ex- ex- experiencing who they are not and calling it hell. Okay? All right, let's move on. So, all you have to do is accept your divinity and give the benefit of doubt to your creator, saying, I am the divine. There's no separation because you're made by the same fundamental particles: protons, neutrons, electrons, light, atomic particles. The same atomic particles are in every human being, on every and all life on our planet, and everything in the universe and the cosmos, and there's no thing different than your atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, and then fundamentally, superstrings and so on. So in the entire cosmos and multiverse, there's nothing else other than these fundamental particles created by the essential essence or divinity or I am. Okay? This essential essence is always there. This essential essence is always the first cause substance. This essential essence is what you call God. This essential essence is the reason why you are the way you are. You are divine, perfect, eternally free, and loved unconditionally. And you have unlimited potential because of your divine birthright. Okay? You and God are one, and there is no separation. Okay? So from now on, let's figure out how can we transform ourselves into different versions of ourselves. Okay? So think of this. When you are born and you're in your 20s, who you think you are is a different person than who you think you are in your 30s and 35 or 40s, and then your 50s and your 60s and your 70s and 80s. So are these different people? No, they are just different versions of who you think you are. And the fastest way to be in heaven is to stop this thinking of who you think you are and come to the awareness that you are the infinite being created by the infinite intelligence, and you cannot not be God no matter what you think you are. Okay? You can never be less than what you are unless you think you are, and in the physical universe, what you think, you create. Okay, and this is true in the metaphysical universe as well, but there's a slight time delay because of time and space in the physical universe, and because of that, you think life is happening to you and you are not in control, but that is impossible given who and what you are. So your life is moving from version 1 to 1 billionth version to 1 trillionth version from your birth to your death. Okay? And heaven is consciously evolving to a state of awareness between these different states. Okay? So let's assume a man who's 20 years old thinks he's an unworthy person and God does not love him. Okay? And age 21, he starts reading a book, let's say Conversation with God with Neil Donald Walsh. Okay? And he starts to understand that he's no longer the person he's identified with as an unworthy human being, and he starts to believe that he is a worthy person. Okay, that is the first version, or the first version transformation of who he thought he was to who he believes he is right now. And the faster you can move towards who you really are, is the faster the transformation happens. Okay, and at age 22 he believes he is the divine, but he's not experiencing it. Okay, and he reads more books, he does more learnings, and all of these are pointers for him to awaken the awareness. Okay, so to become consciously aware, as part of his evolutionary journey, to become aware of who he really is and to experience that. Okay, so at age 25, he remembers completely who he really is, and he starts transforming from inside and out. The transformation doesn't come outside in. If you're a divine being, which all of us are, the only way transformation can come in, that we can choose and manifest, is from our inside. In the what's within creates what without or outside. What you think, what you believe, is what you create. So, the way to change your life, the way to experience heaven and stop experiencing hell, is to start thinking, being, and accepting who you really are. Okay? So, if you always thought you are someone other than who you really are, you've never been who you really are. The way for you to transform your life is to start accepting who you really are and start moving in the direction of total acceptance and faith and belief. Okay? Okay, let's continue. So this is how you are choosing between different versions of who you think you are, to from the beginning of your life to the end of your life, to ultimately when you die, you go back to the spiritual realm, and you know you were never less than divinity. You just forgot it. It is a voluntary acceptance of forgetfulness state, so you can recreate it. If you do not forget it and everything is already created, there is no way for you to create it. So, when you come to the physical universe, in the physical reality or plane, you voluntarily forget who you are, who you have always been, so that you can remember and recreate who you really are in this lifetime. It is that simple. You can think of yourself as, let's say, a student, the who you believe you're a student, and let's say you're making $1,000 a month. That's version one. Okay, and after few years, you graduate and you believe now you're worthy, you're a graduate with a bachelor's degree, and you're version two of yourself. It's not you're not changing who you are. You're just thinking different versions. You're just believing or accepting different versions or levels of consciousness or different states of yourself. Okay? And as a student, you believe your worth was only $1,000 a month. So you are making $1,000 a month, as an example. Okay, the money is not good or bad. It is just a measure of your level of consciousness or awareness. Okay, and who you think you are and what you are worthy of, and what you believe is a fair um, compensation for your work or self-expression in this world. Okay, and version 2 believes now he's a graduate. He is willing to accept a job which gives him $5,000 a month. Okay, so you now are making $5,000. So are you five times better than who you were just when you were a student when making $1,000? Of course not. So you are the same person. All you did is change to a new belief. From $1,000 is my current worth to $5,000 is my current worth because of the job you're willing to accept. And you work a few years and get your master's degree and an MBA, and and now you believe you can get $10,000 a month. Okay, it is version 3. It is still the same person, you're still the same, but now you believe you can make more money, and so you do. Okay, you're making, let's say, $10,000 a month. Is this person version 3 different than version 1 or 2? No. All you change is your beliefs. In fact, all your life, all you're doing is changing who you think you are, and from that state of awareness or consciousness, all your thoughts are manifesting your day to day life. And from those thoughts, your words and spoken words and written words are arising. And from that thoughts and words, your physical actions or body actions or deeds are arising. And you are living that level of consciousness. Okay, so now you are making $10,000 and you get married and you have two beautiful kids with your and a loving family, and you are now believe with 20 years of experience, move up in your career, and you making $20,000 a month. Okay, and your spouse is also making, let's say, $15,000 a month. So you as a family are making $35,000 a month. It is the same person. You are not 20 times better than who you think you are when you were a student. All you are willing to do is to accept the version of yourself that is now making $20,000 and believe that is your worth. Okay? And if you keep doing this and you start your own business and you and your spouse work together with love and dedication and effort, and you become a multi-millionaire making a startup run successful business into an established company now worth, let's say, $1 billion. Okay, your stake in the company is worth $1 billion. So you are a different version of who you think you are. Now your worth is $1 billion. So are you 1 million times better than who you think you are when you were a student? No. All you did is change your awareness that when you were a student, you accepted the fact, not a fact, but your personal truth that your worth was $1,000. After 20, 25 years, when you created your own company and your own business, and your net worth has gone up to $1 billion, you just accepted the fact that you are now worth $1 billion. But what really has happened is who you are has never changed. The only thing that changed is who you think you are and what is your worth. Your self worth changed because of who you think you are. And because of that, your outside circumstances changed. Okay? And so on. And then eventually you grow your business into multiple businesses and you become $10 billion worth. So now you're close to your retirement, you have lived a happy, successful life, your children have grown, and you and your wife are running these businesses and you worth $10 billion in version 6. Okay? Are you, oh sorry, version 7 or 8 or infinite? Doesn't matter. Are you now 1 billion times better than who you were when you were a student? Of course not. Same way, once you become a billionaire, just like you are the same person with a different belief, thought, thinking, as you change from version 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 10, and your net worth is just a reflection of your belief system, you can ultimately project yourself and say, my worth is infinite. And when you believe that you are the infinite, you are the divine, your absolute magnificence, you have absolutely no limit, you have absolutely no reason to have anything less. Your net worth will continue to match your belief system. Just like you went from $1,000 to $10 billion, just like Elon Musk, I heard his story where he grew his net worth from $1,200 as a student to roughly 250 plus $1 billion today. What did it change? Is he a different person than he was when he was a student? Or is he the same person? He's just his belief, thoughts, actions were changing from the time he was a student to now his self worth of a billion, 250 billion plus dollars. But he's still the same person. Same way, whatever your income is right now, it will not change until you change your belief system. It will not change until you change to a better version of you are. So all you're doing is being better and better versions of yourself. Okay? In fact, This is the secret. The whole goal of your entire life is to remember and recreate who you really are. Okay? So when you remember that you're divine, you instantly can move from your version. Okay? Recreate version 1 or version 10,000 or 1 billion thousand. It does not matter. You can easily choose these different versions of who you really are. And all these versions are nothing but parallel realities that you are choosing. Okay? In one reality, you're a student making $1,000. In another reality, you're a professional making $10,000 a month. In another reality, you believe you're worth $1 billion because your self worth and your belief system support that. And in another parallel reality, you're worth $250 billion. But all that changed is your belief and your perception of who you think you are, and all your thoughts, actions, words are aligned from that belief system. This is the truth. So, same way, heaven and hell are different versions of who you think you are. Okay? Heaven is who you really are, and when you accept that, you can continuously be in a blissful heavenly state. Okay? And you can transform from a person that who is, you know, living in an unconscious state, living in, let's say, not optimal or poor environment. Raise your awareness, raise your consciousness to a point where you can accept a better version of yourself and assume that version can manifest in your reality through the power given to you by our source, and you start believing and speaking, thinking, speaking, and acting at that level, and that level will manifest. That frequency will match the outside reality. In fact, all you're doing is moving from one parallel reality to another. Okay? And as I told you, in quantum physics, all possibilities exist right now. Similarly, all possibility is nothing but another word for parallel reality or another version of yourself. Okay? When you believe you are $10 billion worth, even when you're a student, there is a possibility that you can get there, in a short amount of time, maybe a matter of few years or a decade or so, but your parallel reality will shift. So the all I'm saying is for you to move from heaven hell to heaven is to just shift your awareness, shift your perception of who you think you are, and stop rejecting who you really are and start accepting who you are. Okay? And start consciously creating your life from that state of awareness. Okay? And let me dive a little bit deeper into this concept. Every thought is a creation. There's ultimately only one question: who you think you are, or who you really are. Who you are is the infinite being, and any version of you think less than who you really are is a denial of your true self. And any thought that arises from that denial state is will result in experiences of hell. Okay? There's no other way the universe works. So, all you have to do is to move into heaven, which is your divine state or state of total awareness or pure love state, and choose thoughts very carefully from that state of awareness. Choose words that are aligned to that new belief system and the new aligned, enlightened state and magnificent state, and your words should align your thoughts and your words spoken or written. And then your body, vibration, or actions or deeds should match that. And your outside reality has no choice but to reflect that in your outside circumstances. Okay? It is the energy. You are magnetizing energy particles, which are basically your divine true identity is love. Okay? When you choose love over fear, when you choose love over any other choice, which ultimately arises from fear, because fear is something that is not possible for the infinite intelligent creator. There is nothing that can fear the infinite. So, same way, since you are the infinite intelligent creator, there is nothing that you can fear or you need to fear because there is nothing outside of you. Okay? So, as you are choosing love, is the starting point of tipping from going or transforming yourself from hell to heaven. Okay? You can think of like this. Hell is not knowing who you are. Heaven is knowing and accepting who you are and start living from the new enlightened state of who you really are. Okay? All you're changing is what you're believing about yourself. All you're changing is what you think about yourself. All you're changing is how you would act from this new aware conscious state. And you're thinking, speaking, and acting from that frequency state, which manifests the reality outside. Okay? The universe has nothing but a frequency mirror. If you reflect fear in your mind or unworthiness, it will reflect back fear and unworthiness. So if you reflect joy, true identity, assume your true identity, and work from that state of new divine identity and think, speak, and talk and act from that identity, outside reality has no choice but to change. Okay? So, how to be in heaven forever? It is to perpetually be in a state of total gratitude and love every moment or every day of your life. In fact, we can redefine prayer as thought control. And thought control can easily be done when you can go out of your mind or true beings. Remember, you are the true being. You never, ever are anything less or anything else because there is nothing else that can exist outside of God. There is nothing outside of God. God used the only material substance that God had, which is Himself or herself or itself, to create you. So, how can you be anything less? You can choose to think you are less. You can choose to believe you are less, but you can never be less. You are the God. You are the divine. There is no separation. When you start thinking and being and believing that and start acting on that, all your reality changes. And you can perpetually be in a state of pure bliss and love. Okay? Just remember any thoughts that are arising from your body may tend to believe, that you are not the divine. So stop your thinking for even a few moments in a day or a few moments through meditation, prayer, contemplation of the divine, nature walks, whatever is the technique or permission slip that works for you, come from the state of awareness and create your reality from the state of awareness. That is how you manifest heaven on earth for yourself. And once you start manifesting heaven by accepting your true identity of divinity and creating from that state, you will transform yourself and you'll transform the world because you are the light. And when everything is dark, you can still shine your light. Your life purpose is realized. The reason the divine chose to come to physical reality is to experience itself as it really is. And it cannot experience itself as it really is in heaven or in a metaphysical state or divine conscious state, uh, because there is nothing but magnificence. There's all magnificence. There's nothing else. So, in the absence of that which you are not, that which you are is not. In the absence of fear, you cannot experience love. In the absence of heat, you cannot experience cold. In the absence of light, you cannot experience darkness. So, for you to experience darkness, you have to create the light and not display your light to experience darkness. So, when you experience darkness, all you have to say is, I am the light, and there shall be light. When you experience cold, say, I am the warmth, and you will become warm. You can choose any state of being from your true state of knowing or awareness. It is that simple. And you can choose to be in heaven, even in you're standing in the middle of hell, which is not knowing. Okay? It is just knowing. Just like you were a small kid, when you were born as a boy or a girl playing on a beach with your friends or your cousins or your brothers or sisters, nothing was more blissful. Everything was perfect. There was no heaven or hell because you were experiencing heaven that moment. You were pure joy, pure bliss, pure love, experiencing life as it was meant to be. You are not thinking anything, you're not doing anything other than being who you really are. And this is the purpose of all life, for us to be who we really are and for others to experience who we really are, okay, which is love. Okay? You are the pure loving being that forgot who it really is and start experiencing hell. We placed ourselves in hell or state of unknowing so we can remember and recreate and create heaven and recreate ourselves as who we really are. Okay? We came from heaven into the physical reality so we can remember and recreate heaven, which is our divine birthright. Okay? God said, you and I are one, and this is not a concept, but it's a physical fact. You are, in metaphysical, physical terms, the divine. You cannot. I'll just give you an example. You may think you're worthy less or more, but it doesn't matter. You cannot create another version of you outside of you. I will give you $1 million. Can you create another version of you outside of yourself? You cannot. If I give you $1 billion, can you create another version of you outside of you, a duplicate? No, you cannot. Same way, there is no reason to doubt your self worth. Your worth is infinite, whether you believe it or not. And the day you accept you are infinite, you are the infinite intelligence, you are the infinite creator, pretending to be finite being is the day you start your transformational journey. Okay? You can be like kids, and that's why most kids are in a joyful state most of the time because they are not thinking but being in a state of total bliss. Okay? So you can have a beautiful life from that state of awareness. Okay? And this is how you can do it. Choose love over fear. Choose to have knowledge and you will have knowledge. Whatsoever you should ask, it shall be given to you. So if you choose love, just say, I choose to be loved, and this is what I choose to experience it, and so shall it be. Okay? You and I, and we are all one with God, and God wants us or chooses us to to know and experience who we really are. Okay? Through unconditional love and infinite potential. Okay? And there's no other reason for us to live other than to manifest God's magnificence in physical reality, or your magnificence, if you want to call it that. Okay? So go and be who you really are. This is the beginning of transformation, of leaving hell, which is unknowing, into stepping into heaven, which is knowing and accepting and believing and acting, thinking and acting and doing from the state of knowingness, absolute belief, absolute faith that you are the divine, and it will manifest. You can ask for it. You can ask infinite spirit or infinite intelligence, show me the sign that I am the one with you. And you will get hints, intuitions, responses back from the universe. Okay? Start being who you really are. Okay? And heaven is not a place, is not a country, is not a location, is not a place in the heaven or spiritual realm or any realm. Heaven is being less than who you really are. Being not your true self, but a lesser version of yourself. Okay? So move into your true divine self and start being who you really are. I thank you and I wish you to be and to experience who you really are and to be the bliss and heaven that you are. Thank you. God bless you.